So I want to tell you a story. It was a big eye-opening experience as a gymnastics coach. I was working with my athlete on a trampoline. She was doing Cody's, and so we're doing a Cody on the trampoline. Everything's great. This is high level athlete. I think she's like level 9, but she's like the ability levels of a level 10. Okay, so she's a year ahead in her ability levels. And trampoline, she could have gone elite easily on trampoline. We train trampolines all the time, and so she should have just competed trampoline, and she'd been even further along in her career at the time. So we're doing Cody backs on trampoline, right? Stomach drop, backflip, and we're like, okay, hey, you know what? Let's do a Cody double back. Why not, right? I know how to spot, you know how to do, so let's put this thing together. And so she's like, cool, let's do a Cody double backflip. All right, cool. So we do our Cody double backflip. It's great, like fantastic. Just launches, flip happens in place, just and just bam, right on her feet. And it's like, that's dope, right? Like that's really cool. So we're like, all right, let's do it again. Cody double back. I'm there, I do the whole spot thing, bop, everything's great. And it's like, oh my goodness, you're doing all the work and bam, you're landing right back on your feet again. Like, this is awesome. Let's just do it again. Let's see if you really got it figured out, you know? Rest period, rest, let the anxiety chill out, and bam, she hits it again. So then I ask her, I say, okay, well, do you think you could twist this? Now, that's a whole nother conversation on, should you even ask that question, which is no, you shouldn't. But I ask her the question, could you twist this? Because that tells you where my mind was as a coach, which is push, 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 push. She stops me, and this was one of the biggest epiphanies that happened in my coaching career. She stops me and she says, Raleigh, there's two types of skills. There's a type of skill where I know what I'm doing and where I am at through the entire skill. And there's the type of skill where I black out and have no idea what's happening. It had never dawned on me that she had ever blacked out in any of her skills because she always landed them, or she always did them so well that it always looked like she was in control. I had no idea. And I've been training this young lady since she was about 5.5 years old, and now she's maybe 15, 16 years old. And from 5.5 to 15, 16, I had no idea that there were skills that she was blacking out on, that she had no idea what was happening, that I was asking things of her, and she had no idea what was happening, and she just did it anyways. Okay, so why is this important? Okay, so now she's learning, we're on tumble track, and we're doing full ins on tumble track, okay, and we're going to take them to a double-double. And so she's doing her full in, and we're talking about all the things that need to happen to make it to a double-double, and she's doing her full out, right? So she's got a full in, she's got a full out, and we're like, hey, let's smash those two things together. It makes sense, okay? Not in the same day, different day. Now we're ready to put the two pieces together. All right, you got a full in, you got a full out, let's start blending the story. And in the process of getting from the full in to adding the next twist on the second flip, or essentially where it happens a little earlier than that, to putting those twists together in the flips, she's losing awareness. And you can see it. She's just kind of opening up and just falling into the loose foam pit. And I ask him, what's going on? And she's like, well, I don't know what's happening at this spot. Oh, you're blacking out. Yeah. Everything just disappears and she has no awareness anymore. She loses awareness. Okay, great. So where exactly are you losing awareness is what I ask her. She tells me exactly where she's losing awareness. At the certain moment when this is happening, Bob, I'm losing awareness. Okay, at the point where you lose awareness, I want you to either make a sound, move one part of your body intentionally, or look and see something. You get to decide, but I want sensory input. I don't care what it is. I want sensory input happening where you lose awareness. So she does the skill. Where she loses awareness, she does something. I don't remember if she's looks with her eyes, or I'm pretty sure she looked for something. She's like, I'm going to look for the wall or the ground or something like that. And so where she loses awareness, all of a sudden she has sensory input. She sees something, right? Let's just go with she's seeing something. And then we do it again, she sees something. We start building awareness at the spot where she's losing awareness. We start building it. And the moment that she starts gaining that time where now everything doesn't seem like it's so fast and everything kind of slows down in the mind, she's able to now anticipate where that spot is going to be, and boom, she's able to execute what she needed to, double-double. And that all came from her giving me feedback to saying, Raleigh, there's two types of skills. There's the type of skill I know where everything is happening, and there's the type of skill where I'm blacking out and have no idea. And what I did with that is we leveraged it. Now, It's unfortunate I learned this when she was like 15, 16 years old, because not a lot of time, not a lot of runway in her career to start applying it. Like, I could have applied that way earlier, this concept way earlier, and gotten a lot further. But what it did is it matured our relationship between coach-athlete, and what it did for us is every single time she was struggling, we now had language that we could use. And I would just go up to her and I'd say, hey, are you struggling in the sense of you don't know what's happening at some point? And she'd be like, yeah, I'm losing awareness in this spot. And she wasn't afraid to tell me that anymore, because she knew that I had the plan of what the next step was, right? I like to bring hope to the story. And so whether we're learning the pack and she's losing awareness in a certain spot, or whether she's working on, 2.5 twisting and she's losing awareness in a certain spot, or she's doing a shaposh, or she's doing whatever it is might she be doing, wherever the awareness might be lost or the sensory input, she's like, I don't know what's happening in this moment. We'd slow everything down. We'd drill the heck out of that. We'd build the awareness in that one isolated spot. And then it just opened up the potential on the rest of the skill. It was awesome to see. And so that all happened because this trampoline experience, which just by happenstance, because I'm pushing her to do to twist a double Cody on a trampoline. It's like, who's even teaching double Codys on a trampoline, right? So I would have never learned this one coaching technique had I not been doing that, okay, out of my own stupidity. And yet it just changed the whole entire way I coach now. Because now I look at athletes and I look at them and I say, oh, that person's losing awareness right there. I know exactly where they lost awareness, and that's why their body loosened. That's why they're no longer in coordination or in sync with themselves, or they're not using the surface properly because they don't actually understand, how to max effort their back handspring, whatever it might be. And you can see it. And once you start seeing it, you start going, oh, if I build awareness, if I can build athlete awareness in that one spot, the whole entire rest of the skill potential increases. It's phenomenal. So that's a huge takeaway point. I hope it helps you. You can try it out, but it changed the game for me as a coach, really settled my anxiety down, because instead of chasing skills or trying to get and just saying the same thing over and over again, like, well, just pull here or look here or do more. And I personally do not think it is appropriate nor good to say, don't think about it. Okay, our brains were designed to think. And so for us to say, don't think about it, we're basically negating the fear and the anxiety that's built into the person. And I understand how that works if you have the motor skills and the muscle memory to make it happen. But at some point, you do need to think about it, and you do need to understand, and you do need to have the awareness. It needs to not be just huck and chuck, hope and pray. And so that's the shift that happened. Is I believe that athletes who are aware of the skill have a longer lifespan than the athletes who lose awareness in their skills. I do not think those athletes have the longevity or the long haul. And even if the athlete who loses awareness can outperform the athlete who has awareness, I would much rather work with an athlete who has awareness, because I can have a conversation with them and I know the safety is built into the skill. And I don't want to deal with blackouts and people not knowing where they are and they just, oh, I just landed, how'd that happen? And they never communicate that. That's a risk that we're taking, and I don't think that's an appropriate coaching methodology. And so I'm just going to be like, no thank you to that. So that was a huge shift in my coaching. I hope that story is beneficial to you. You can go maybe pivot and shift or reflect on maybe if your athletes are blacking out in the middle of their skills, and where do you need to build awareness and skills to kind of open up the potential of that athlete. And then leave a comment below, subscribe, like. I'd like to hear how you applied this, and if you want more stories, let me know. Raleigh, I want more coaching stories. Have a good one.